Welcome to another edition of Sunny Side of Finance. If you've been, following our podcast for some time, then you know that this is the podcast where you get the real. You get the understanding of what the goal is, which is spreading financial literacy, sprinkled in with a little bit of real life. And today's edition is not going to be about, finance completely. It's going to actually be about the driving motivators on what gets you to want to care about your finance, your why, if you will. And so we're not going to talk about all of the whys. For some folks, it might be, maybe living a different lifestyle or a different pathway for their children than how they grew up. So if you're like me and you grew up extremely poor, like blue collar is like what I like to say. We had for everything we needed, but maybe didn't have for what we wanted, which is fine. Immigrant mentality is what I call it. It's a strong mindset. But, for me, it's like, I want to be successful in finance because I want my kids to, be, in a different, have a different childhood than what I did, as far as, what their house looks like, what their clothes look like, and, what food they can have and what food's in the fridge. But for a lot of folks, it's a different why. But there's one common, theme that resonates with a lot of folks when it comes to their why, on why they give a shit or give a care about increasing their finances. And that is love. Oh, you thought I was going to say something different, huh? It's love, Matt. It's love, right? Because if I didn't, just like in that example I gave about trying to create a better life for my children than I had, well, why? Because I love my children. I love them so much. And who else I love very much? My wife. My wife, Crystal, is joining us today. And it's not because I had lack of guests to come with me. It's because I'm trying to convince my wife and trying to get her to do something really crazy in her life right now. I'm trying to get her to quit a stable job, So again, we're circling this around finances. So I'm trying to get somebody who is very secure in their job role, has been there for a while, and I'm trying to get them to partner with me in our ventures with KEES Lending, KEES Investments, things that we're doing. Because I have this grand vision in my head that we have to live our life of purpose. We have to live our life in a way where we're doing things almost at all times that are meshing with, they're weaved into our goals. They're weaved into how we have designed our life. And I'm so sick and tired of the 9-to-5 grind that I once did. If you're literally watching this is the biggest thing that I could say in this podcast. It's break the societal norms. I did it for so many years. It's, hey, get up, brush your teeth, wash your face, rinse out with some Scope, go shower, have a cup of coffee, watch a little bit of the news, get a bite to eat, and go to work. And then stay there till lunch break. And then after that, if you're a good soldier, stay till after, 5 o'clock, stay there till 6, 7, be the last to leave, first to arrive. And that whole mindset just sucks because you end up in this loop-de-loop and you end up gray and old one day and you're like, where did my life go? Now, what if we reframed our mind and we're like, you know what? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to wake up. I'm going to take care of myself. Because just like on the plane, when they tell you, the signs and the cues are everywhere. Just like on the plane, please secure your mask before you secure the person that you love sitting next to you or the person next to you. So it's like, take care of yourself. If you can't take care of yourself and if you're in no good shape, then how are you going to take care of others that you love and you care for? After you're done with that in your day, then you can take time to prioritize your day after you dropped your kids off, say goodbye to them, had a good message with them, change your morning routine with them. So this whole new school of thought has immersed inside of me. It's rushing through my blood and it feels so right for me that I'm like, man, maybe I should start preaching this or not preaching this. That's the worst thing to say. It's like spreading the news about this so that maybe others that are in the same boat can feel the same way. So who's the best person that you can share that news with first? Well, aside from your friends, it's people you love. And I love my wife, so I try to tell my wife this. So, honey, welcome to the show, or welcome to this podcast. This is what I've been doing this whole time when I tell you I'm going to go do a podcast. How does it feel to be here?
It's good. A little out of my box, but it's good.
All right, cool. Well, you know what? Matt, isn't it? If there's anything that we're doing in this thing, it's outside of your box, right? Like this has always been what it's been in this room. Yeah. So look, societal norms state that I am the man and you are the woman. Mm-hmm. Societal norms used to dictate that I would have to go to work, bring home the bacon. I'm the breadwinner. And you as the woman would be what?
Cooking, cleaning, taking care of the kids.
That's the old societal norms, like our parents' generation.
Yeah.
Like, what era do you think this is? Like the 30s, 40s, 50s, like 60s even maybe? Maybe latched onto the 70s? Yeah. How far deep do you think this went, this culture?
I mean, I think it went pretty far. My mom stayed home.
So like 90s, would you say? 80s?
I think 80s. Yeah.
80s, right?
Trickled into the 90s.
Trickled into the 90s, right? Mm-hmm. So then now there's this, I don't want to call it an awakening, right? Mm-hmm. But there's this shift where, hey, now, and I don't even think it was a shift in a good way where it's like women empowerment. Not to say women empowerment is not a good thing. What I'm saying is like, I think finances dictated that most families would now need to go and have a dual income household.
Yeah.
And then that became, hey, you know what? Let's get everybody educated. Let's get boys and girls as they grow up to go to college, get educated. Let's have everybody participate in earning a living and paying taxes. Again, I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, right? Mm-hmm. But somehow, some way, it's made its way to where both husband and wife or both partners are working 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. or 6 p.m., whatever your schedule is, or they're both working.
Yeah.
And the rest of the time is like what's left over.
Yeah. Which isn't a lot.
Which isn't a lot. But it's crazy because when people condense it, they go, you have 24 hours in a day, 8 hours work, 8 hours play, 8 hours sleep. But how do we do that? If we take away 8 hours sleep, we have 16 hours, you know? But it's like, where are the other 8 hours? The great hours, the sunshine hours, are like 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So now what?
Now you just have that juggle, try to do everything when you can fit it in, and it's hard, you know? Everybody's just always exhausted. You know, the things that were fun are now tasks, you know? Oh, I have to take my kids to football practice. I have to go to gymnastics. It's always a have to.
I have to go to Costco.
Yeah.
I have to run my personal errands. Oh, and then once in a while, I'm going to have free time with my girls or my guys. Get a cigar, you get some drinks or something, right? And it's just like, wow, that becomes less and less. And everybody's doing it. Everybody's doing a brand new dance now. Come on, let's be slaves to our work life. You know what I mean? It's crazy, right? It so sucks. So hey, I watch this show now. I'm a big Rocky guy. Rocky Balboa, Sylvester Stallone. And this show is probably really inappropriate for my kids to watch, but we watch it. It's called Tulsa King. Have you heard of it? Were you not participating today, Maddie?
I'm participating.
Jeez Louise.
I'm in it. I watch it.
Okay, so
we made a movie about it.
That movie that's going to be great when it becomes a movie. But Tulsa King has this scene where the main character, Sylvester Stallone, goes into a bank and he asks for a $9 million loan. And the lady goes, you have to have documentation, you have to do this, and you have to go through this rigmarole, and then you have to have a business plan. And he's looking at her like glossing his eyes and he goes, listen, if Albert Einstein, he said if Thomas Edison had walked in here and said, I have this great idea for the light bulb, and I just need $9 million to make it work, or I need some money to make it work, what would you do? And the bank manager goes, I would tell Thomas Edison to follow the same exact directions that I gave to you. And he looks at her and he goes, and great, we'd all be in the dark. And he walked out, right? So what I take away from something like that is when there's an early adopter of a change, and this isn't like it's even early. I'm probably late to the party, right? So if I tell you something early, I might sound like a weirdo. Like how many of my friends told me, dude, you need to get into crypto. And I was like, No, thank you. And now a lot of those guys that told me about it are multiple millionaires,
Yeah.
you know? So where I'm going with this is, what if I told you, what if I told you you could have it all? What if I told you you could not go to work 9 to 5? Working 9 to 5. I'm going to sing show tunes today. What if I told you, what if I asked you to quit your job? What if I asked you, audience, to prioritize yourself in the morning? What if I told you to do some hard, do some let's live the cool stereotype. Instead of the stereotype of, the smoker, the drinker, the partier, the funny guy, the life of the party, how about we do the stereotype that now exists of the marathon runner, the Goggins guy, the guy that wants to, or the gal that wants to train and get their body in the best shape of their life. Oh God, you're a CrossFitter now? Yeah. What if we did that stereotype? So what if you quit your job and you compound effect stacked it with waking up at 5 a.m. and running your life like a Mark Wahlberg diet / workout? What if on top of that, after you were done with that, you prayed, meditated, cold tubbed, whatever you did for you? And then if after that, you woke up, you got ready, and after you got ready, you made your kids a fresh breakfast every morning, not a Pop-Tart. I get fired up about this, right? What if you had no phone distraction for that morning and you had a positive message or a positive thing of the day? You put research into it. You, with your loved one, your partner, every Sunday night, you figure out what the positive message of the week is going to be for each day. What if you had theme days with your drop-offs? Now you're dropping them off to school and you got Freestyle Friday like we do. That's why I can't beatbox. Otherwise, I would spit a bar right now. But if you want to see bars, me and Maddie did some bars the other day. Anyways, then when you're done dropping them off, you and your wife or spouse or whoever you care about, your best friend, your buddy, go get a cup of coffee at a local coffee place. Yeah, you can get an espresso machine after. The cost of an espresso machine is probably 20 days of coffee. But you're going and supporting the local place. You're becoming a nester. You are becoming a regular at a local place. They know you, mom and pop, not a big chain.
Yeah.
What if after that you have your computer out, your notepad out, and you are just putting down creative thoughts of what you want to create and see in life? And you're building it with your partner, somebody you spend the most amount of time with. And now, so it's no longer 8 hours work, 8 hours play, 8 hours sleep. It's more like 7 hours sleep, 10 hours of work and play. And the rest of the time is just play. What if that was your life? Even if you didn't make a bunch of money, let's say you ended up being broke doing it. How great of a year, how great of a life would that be?
Yeah, it'd be great. I mean, you're doing it with purpose and intention, but it's just hard to get away from that 9 to 5 and go against the grain and have that uncertainty.
Why?
Because a stable paycheck's nice.
What's nice about it?
You know it's coming. You can count on it.
But then you're trading your time.
I know, that's the thing.
Remember that Dare program when we were younger? This is your brain. This is your brain on drugs. They crack an egg on a hot frying pan and it scrambles.
Yeah.
Any questions? It was the most simplest marketing, to get out there. Okay. Mm-hmm. The premise behind that is you now know what this can do to you. Okay. I just got done telling you what it can do to you, both, right? Mm-hmm. After knowing that, you still want to go trade your time for a paycheck just because it's nice to have stability?
It's less scary, definitely. But no, everything you're saying, I think that's like most people's dream. Yeah, I would love to wake up and take the kids to school, give them a positive message, go have a cup of coffee, go to the gym, plan our, next adventure or flip or whatever it is, and have that, free time. But
okay. Let me spin it on you.
Yeah.
Okay. The work that you do, do you feel that AI can replace it in the next 5 years?
No.
You don't think accounting, you don't think corresponding with other team members, you don't think, taking down dictation, you don't think this can be done actually more effectively and more cost efficiently by an AI?
Maybe.
Okay. As of this date, I'm barely a mortgage loan officer. Okay. I'm on a mortgage company, and I could tell you last year, yeah, I was. The year before, yeah, I was. This year, I'm like, it's not really driving me. This isn't really my passion anymore. I'm passionate about helping people with financial literacy, but I'm not really passionate about taking an application at 1003, pulling credit, reviewing credit, seeing how we can improve the credit, structuring income and assets to make sure a loan program goes for a customer. That's really just doesn't sound like joy-filled days for me, right? And so what I'm saying to you is even that position right there, I think can be automated by AI, and it will be.
Yeah.
I think it'll give a much better customer service to the customer. I mean, real talk. I'm one person. My phone rings how many times in an hour?
I don't even know.
How many times in the last 20 minutes do you think my phone rang?
15.
Okay. So AI, I miss some of those calls.
Yeah.
AI won't miss.
That's true.
AI won't miss. They've been using AI for years. When you call your bank and you're like, how may I help you? This is Albert. But it's a robot.
Yeah.
It's an automation that is figuring out speaking sequences. It's language learning. And when it hears a positive or negative feedback, or it gives you a prompt, it's teaching you. So it's actually a teacher. It's like, press 1 for payroll, press 2 for billing. So you're going through a funnel, not even knowing it.
Yeah.
So again, I ask you, do you think in 10 years your job could be replaced by AI?
It probably can.
Do you think in 5 years it could be replaced by AI?
I don't think 5 years.
Okay. Do you think in 1 year it could be replaced by AI?
No.
Now watch this. Okay. Hey, Matt,
Yeah.
how long ago could AI have replaced her current job?
3 years ago.
So it's not even that it's coming. It's already here. It's 3 years old.
Yeah.
So now I ask you, the stability still there for you?
Yeah. There goes my job security.
Well, what are you going to do? If there's 100 people in the room, 70 of them who lack logical thinking, and this is not a dig at anybody that doesn't have logical thinking or critical thinking. It's tough to have the critical thinking,
Yeah.
okay? But 70 of them are going to spend a year pissing and moaning, going, I lost my job to AI. The government should have never let this happen. Woe is me. Misery loves company. Woe is me.
Yeah.
30% of them are going to go, well, probably 20% of them in sunny statistics is going to go, fuck, I just lost my job. I need to figure out what the next thing is. And they're still going to go, man, screw AI. 10% or less are going to go, I saw this coming. I'm already prepared for it. How do I use AI to further my agenda?
Yeah.
So it's like, this is what it is. Not many of them, the 70% of them, the many of them are going to not really have a plan. So when they're put out on the street, like, what's the average older age? Like, are there a lot of elderly people? Like, are there a lot of people past 60 at in your job?
There's some.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are there a lot past 50?
I would say the sweet spot's like between 40 and 50.
Okay. What are they going to do?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Retire early.
So where I'm going with that is like, okay, so now there goes stability. Okay.
Yeah.
If you don't have this position, what would you do?
I'd have to find something else.
What would you find?
Another government job somewhere.
So it has to be government because you're used to that and it's a steady Eddie paycheck. So on a disc profile, you're probably very high SC.
I think it was SI.
SI? Okay. But you're an S.
Yeah.
Stable, steady, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So a lot of people in your role are that. So now let's say that role goes away. Let's say that job doesn't exist and you can't even find that job in the marketplace. What are you going to do?
Ask you.
No, I'm not alive. I'm dead.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I'm obviously not prepared. That's something that I would have to really sit and think about and do some research to find out what position can I do.
How
now.
much sit and time research do you need? Would you need 100 hours? Would you need 100 days? Yes or no? A third of a year? Yes or no?
No.
Would you need 50 days?
No,
A sixth of a year? Yes or no?
no.
Okay. Would you need 30 days?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you need full 8 hours a day, 30 days to do research?
No.
Okay, so would you need 15 days, a full 8 hours a day, maybe 10 hours a day doing research?
Yeah, I could do that.
So 15 days. So 15 days solid by yourself, 10 hours, 8 hours grinding would change your life to where you could figure out what to create and go motivate that? Like make that happen?
Yeah.
So why aren't you doing it? If that's all it took was 15 days, and you want to hear something crazy? Most of the people that are watching this are not watching this because there's a million podcasts out there, right? But the people that I care about that will listen to this, they're like probably listening to this and going, damn, Sonny's right. Mm-hmm. But you guys listening to this probably are doing the same shit. You guys aren't brave enough or fill in the blank here enough to go spend 8 to 10 hours a day for 15 days at your favorite coffee shop, out of the realm of your home, separate state and church, okay, to figure out what you want to do. Okay, here's what I do. I'm not saying what I do is the answer for you, but it can be. I don't think AI is there yet where they have robots building houses. No, right? I don't think AI is there where they can build my 69 Chevelle or my, 67 Cutlass, which is really my favorite car. But so they're not there yet. They can't replace hands, tools, that stuff yet, right? Mm-hmm. So I find an ugly home that has potential. As a matter of fact, I was negotiating one right now, right? It's worth $550. Some families really just wrecked that property. They're going through whatever they're going through, drugs, whatever it might be. They're going to move out. I'm going to fix that home and I'm going to sell it. And my profit on that house is probably going to be around $50K, $60K, which is someone's annual salary. And I remember that this is someone's annual salary. And I remember the times that I was super poor. And I remember the times that we had to drink expired milk and it looked like worms were swimming in it. You guys ever seen expired milk? That's what it looks like. And you're drinking it. I remember pulling off bread from the moldy side of it. I remember separating the moldy side of the cheese and just put it in there. I remember this shit. I remember eating macaroni and cheese to the point where you're so sick of mac and cheese. I remember when we finally got the finances dialed in, as the parents got it financed dialed in, and we could afford banquet, gross-ass Swanson 99-cent TV dinners. Stacked. Nothing in the fridge, just stacked, freezer burned stuff. So when I get that 50 grand, it's not a new Rollie for me or a new Rolls Royce for me or a Phantom for me. I fucking hate people like that. I can't stand people like that. It goes back to remembering those times, and I stack it. Mm-hmm. But I live a comfortable life.
Yeah.
My day is what I've described to you now. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
Why can't many people find their thing? Why can't many people find their thing? Why do you think that is?
I think a lot of people just don't know where to start, or they're just so comfortable in where they're at. They don't think they need to find anything else.
Okay. So we just talked about they don't have know where to start. We just solved the know where to start problem, right? Talk to me more about the comfort thing. Where does the comfort come from? The coworkers, the 9 to 5, where do they come from?
Yeah, it's the repetition. It's the, you know what's going to happen, what to expect. You know what you're going to do, and there's no wrenches thrown your way. You wake up at a certain time, you go to work at a certain time, you have lunch at a certain time, you leave at a certain time, you get paid at a certain time.
Yeah. That comfort kills, though, doesn't it?
It does. Because your potential is only so far with that, Do
you feel like a lot of people that are in that comfort crisis, that they really struggle with finding purpose?
That could be.
Because we haven't even talked about purpose.
Yeah.
What does purpose mean to you? Purpose to me means what God, or I don't want to bring faith into it, but what the higher power has instilled in you to do.
Yeah.
It's not, flipping houses. It's not an occupation. If you think it's an occupation, you are a moron. It's not. You might love what you do. I know a lot of football coaches that love what they do. You know, I know a lot of football players. I know a lot of people. They're like, man, I love what I do. I was born and bred to do this, right? But their purpose isn't that. Their purpose is something else. This is what's leading them to their purpose. And it's such a deep conversation.
Yeah.
You know, what do you think your purpose is?
On the spot, my purpose, I think to help others, you know, in some way, shape, or form, just to give back.
Oh my God, I think I think so too. I think so too. How would you, if money wasn't an option, time was an option, what would you want to spend your time doing for 8 hours a day? Where you lost track of time. You're like, man, I'm going to do this 10 hours a day.
Yeah. Just probably helping kids, like unfortunate kids that don't have a home or someone to call mom or dad or anybody to talk to or lean on, and just make sure they're okay.
How would you help them? You could help them with a hug. You could help them with money, raising funds.
Yeah.
You could help them just talking to them. Like, how would you want to personally help those kids?
I would take them on dates. I would just take them where they wanted to go, because I'm sure nobody asks them what they want. They don't have that opportunity to just go to, I don't know, pick up Chick-fil-A and sit in a park, you know, just hang out, just listen to what they want to say, or be in silence. You know, maybe they don't have anything to say. They just want the company. You know, take them shopping, get them like a good fit, because when kids are in school and they're not dressed a certain way, or they feel they don't have what others have, like that really affects confidence, and just helping them out, you know, just giving back and making sure that they're on the right path.
How could you make that happen? If you had $1 billion,
Yeah.
you think you could make that happen?
Yeah, definitely.
If the state said, you know what, Crystal, we watched this, we want to give you $1 million. We want you to make it happen for 3 cities. Could you make it happen?
100%.
You could, right? Even if you couldn't help every single one of those kids, you touch a lot of lives, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. So how can you make that happen? How can you find a way to get paid to help these kids and make a difference in their lives so they don't grow up to be criminals
Yeah.
in jail or low self-esteem or suicidal, or the list goes on of all the negative directions that they could go, but they didn't because of someone like you? How could you make that, or people like you that you congregated with,
Yeah.
right? Because once you start doing stuff, you attract a tribe. People are like, oh, I'm listening. I like that. I can do that. Now you have 30 of you, and that becomes an army. And now you're helping a bunch of people.
Yeah.
How do you make that happen?
Well, there comes the 15 days.
The 15 days, right? I wish, if you're listening to this, watching this, whatever, I wish with every fiber of my body that your takeaway is, how can I get to my 15 days or 10 days or however much time it is that you need to block out the noise, the distractions, the tasks, the everything, and just get to a point where you're writing from the heart, you're writing from the head on what you want to create and you want to do. You know, we oftentimes hear create and we equal signs artsy fartsy and some artist. Nah, man. Matt's here. He runs one hell of a podcast studio. He's created that. It's a niche now. He's got podcast studios and he's doing what he loves. Matt, do you love what you do?
Yeah.
Do you get paid handsomely for what you do?
Yeah.
He does. By the way, if you need a podcast studio and you're in the Sacramento area, you need to go see Gemini Media. They're really good. I really had a good time talking, but I didn't feel like I did a good time listening. Is there anything that you want to get off your chest? Is there anything that affected you from just being on here talking?
This was fun. But yeah, I think you definitely opened my eyes that there is such a short time frame on, you know, life, and why just be comfortable, open your eyes and spend the time to do more, to create what you really want to do. What's your passion? What's your purpose? What will give you joy?
Yeah. Amen, sister. All right, well, guys, thank you for listening. I love the fact that I could do this with my wife, and I want to continue doing it with my partner, who's my wife. And I encourage you to do the same thing. It's literally therapeutic, even if no one watches it. As a matter of fact, the first person that actually comments down below, I will pay for your studio time for you to come in here with your spouse and just have one-on-one time and just talk it out, listen to it, watch it, replay the tape. This is healthy. This is good, right? And if you're thinking, no, it's not, that's so weird. Early adoption. We'd all be left in the dark. Okay? Thank you for watching. We'll check you out next time.